Hello and a very warm welcome. Monaco reaction. Race 6 done. Daniel Ricciardo nurses power issues to win the Monaco Grand Prix. Finally gets redemption for 2016. I watched the race yesterday, but I was that knackered I just had to go to sleep last night. And woke up this morning and here we go. Daniel Ricciardo, wow, finally. He should have won in 2016. Butchered pit stop cost him. And finally, he's got the Monaco win that he deserved in 2016, but he's got it in 2018 instead. Power issues all race long, and he's managed to nurse it home and win. He basically wasn't going to finish. They basically said, you've got power issues, you're so... Down the straight, he was like 15 mile an hour slower than the rest. And it was basically going to be, you're not going to finish. And he's nursed it, and he's come home and won. Incredible all weekend by Daniel Ricciardo. Fastest in almost every session, if not every session. Surprisingly for Monaco, very clean start. Usually you see someone retire or crash on the opening lap. A very clean start. Then we get into the race. Sergei Sorokin gets a 10-second stop and go penalty. Before the race, you've got to have your wheels fitted on before 3 minutes basically, and he didn't have him fitted, so slam dunk penalty really. I mean, it was a disaster start for Williams at the Monaco Grand Prix, because then Stroll gets a puncture, and basically Williams' race is done after like 6 laps, because Stroll's got a puncture. Sorokin had his 10-second stop and go, so it was just embarrassing once again by Williams. And then Esteban Ocon, yes, he's been best of the rest all weekend, but I'm going to go in hard on him now, because what he did at Monaco was an absolute disgrace. Yes, he's best of the rest in qualifying. Yes, he's best of the rest in the race. But to move over 150 metres before the braking point for both Mercedes is an absolute disgrace in my opinion. Of course, from Ocon's side, he's thinking, I'm not racing the Mercedes, I'll let him go. I won't lose time, I'll finish best of the rest. But come on, this is an F1 race and you're lifting off, letting the Mercedes pass. Yes, they provide Force India's engines, Mercedes, but come on, this is F1. Ocon, he's not even teammates with the Mercedes or anything, and he's just lifting off. He let Hamilton pass, then he let Bottas pass, and then right at the end of the race he was on Bottas's gearbox. So you never know, if he actually fought Bottas and didn't just let him pass, he may have finished ahead of Mercedes, you never know. 5-second penalty for Brendan Hartley, speeding in the pit lane. Again, another slam dunk penalty. I've hardly got anything written down, I'm not going to lie, for the Monaco Grand Prix. It is what it is, the Monaco Grand Prix. It's glamour, it's build-up, best build-up to the weekend probably, although I do like Silverstone. Glitz, glamour, views, the track's amazing, the track's unique, but let's be honest, it's piss poor every single year. So what did we really expect? Ricciardo, then he gets the radio message, you've got a power issue, you're going to have to manage it. He said on the radio, is it going to get better? And they said negative, so I don't know how many laps he dealt with it. It was at least 50. It's just a world-class performance. If Schumacher, Senna did that, we'll be talking about it for years and years. Daniel Ricciardo deserves the praise. Charles Leclerc, coming out the tunnel, he's behind Brendan Hartley. They're both having a good race, them two. Brendan Hartley's 11th, Charles Leclerc's 12th. Charles Leclerc, right on the back of Hartley, coming out the tunnel, his brakes fail, smashes into Brendan Hartley. They're both out the race. Brendan Hartley's rear wing's hanging off. Charles Leclerc's got brake failure, nothing he could do. He tried to avoid Hartley, but he couldn't really avoid him. And that was that. And then, obviously, virtual safety car came out. And then Ricciardo managed to build a really big lead on Vettel, because Vettel was struggling with tyre warm-up. That's what I mean. The race was an absolute shocking. We'll get into the race rating now, actually. 1 out of 10. Shocking. Most of the time, they were looking after the tyres, nursing the tyres, not driving at 100%. The top 6, where they qualified, they finished. snooze fest of a Grand Prix. Star of the race, I was going to give it Pierre Gasly, but it's got to be Daniel Ricciardo. Fastest in every session, I think, and nursed that problem for 50 laps in the race. Phenomenal by Daniel Ricciardo. So yeah, he gets my star of the race. And of course, we forgot the DNFs. So Fernando Alonso going down the main straight, down the pit straight, gearbox issue. And then Charles Leclerc, Brendan Hartley smashed. Leclerc brake failure, smashed into Hartley. So let's run down the order. Daniel Ricciardo wins. Stunning performance by the Australian. And then, basically, 1 to 6 is exactly where they qualified. So, Sebastian Vettel second, Hamilton third, one of his weekends where he's always whining on the radio. I mean, he has them weekends. Kimi fourth, Bottas fifth. He looked quite strong at points. He was on the better tyre than the rest. Ocon sixth. Disgraceful for moving over, in my opinion. This is F1, it's the pinnacle. You cannot be moving out the way. That's shocking, but he's been phenomenal this weekend, but we'll see in the driver ratings that I deduct him for that, because for me, you can't be doing that in an F1 race. Pierre Gasly, 7th. Another great race by Pierre Gasly. He really is. Ocon, Gasly, Leclerc. They seem like the future of F1. Mr. Consistent, P8, difficult 11th in qualifying up to 8th, and then Max from the back of the grid. I suppose that was a highlight of the race. Max doing some great overtakes. The one on Carlos Sainz into the chicane was quite good. So yeah, good comeback by Max, crashed in FP3. I mean, let's be real. Red Bull should be 1-2 qualifying, 1-2 the race. Max, he made a mistake, started last. Good recovery to get back in the points. Carlos Sainz, 10th, really struggling with his tyres at the end. Marcus Ericsson was 13th, obviously benefited from the Leclerc-Hartley incident, so just misses out on the points. Sergio Perez, horrendous pit stop cost him, big time, 12th. Magnussen, shocking. Haas, absolute shocking. Van Dorn, seriously needs to improve. Grosjean, 15th. Again, shocking. And then you've got the Williams boys. Sirotkin 16th, Lance Stroll 17th. If Lance Stroll ever needed his home race to come, it's a good job Canada's the next race, because, oh, he sounds so deflated in his interviews. The car's awful. I mean, Lance Stroll, he must have pitted like 4 or 5 times yesterday. Williams' race was done by like 6 laps, because they both had issues. Obviously, Sirotkin's penalty, Stroll with the puncture. So, Monaco Grand Prix done. What a mega performance by Daniel Ricciardo. Battered the whole opposition all weekend. I'm happy for him. He deserves it. And yeah, on we go to Canada. Look out for driver ratings. I'll see you next time. Adios.